friends, it's Rachel from Healing Home, and around here we talk about homemaking, plus a splash of homesteading here on our 40 acres and some homeschooling every now and again. And today I'm going to answer a question that I've had a lot of DMs and messages about, and that is how we've totally 100% completely changed the way that we are homeschooling this year. What I said we were going to do is not at all what we currently are doing. So let's dive into what we've changed about our homeschooling and with our routines and rituals here on our homestead as a family of 6, almost 7.
Welcome back to My Healing Home. My name is Rachel, and that over there is my husband Dan. We live in the heart of the Midwest on 40 acres with pigs, chickens, bees, turkeys, ducks, a goose, and whatever else we decide to try. We have the privilege of parenting and homeschooling 4 rambunctious but lovely blonde-haired little boys who constantly are making life interesting. Oh, and there might be a 5th one on the way. I hope you join me over here on YouTube as we explore the good, the bad, and the ugly of motherhood and homemaking, but more important, rejoicing in the privilege of our sanctification as we learn to live and thrive for the glory of God alone. After a lot of questions about what we switched to and why, I wanted to make a blog post and also this video to hopefully answer those questions. Any links that I mention will be available in the accompanying blog post. After a tough first part of the school year, we took a leap of faith and dived into the Gather Round Homeschool curriculum. It has become one of the best decisions we've ever made for our family school. Let's dive into the whys of why this curriculum is working so well for our young family and more of the nitty-gritty of what Gather Round Homeschool is. Welcome to my honest take on Gather Round Homeschool. I am not compensated in any way by Gather Round for this review. This is a different video than I typically make, but nonetheless, welcome to Healing Home. I hope you were encouraged and inspired by your time here. Today's video is brought to you by Papa Bear Naturals. I always am blessed and encouraged by you shopping through my affiliate and sponsored links. Thank you so much. It's one of the simplest ways to continue to support Healing Home. Papa Bear Naturals is a premium tallow lotion and skincare line that is made with ingredients such as grass-fed and finished tallow, olive oil, honey, and beeswax. All of their products are designed to provide deep hydration and soothe inflammation. Although my favorite products continue to be the whipped tallow lotion and the restorative balm, I want to draw your attention to the balm, which is specifically made for diaper rashes. It is made with small batches and only the finest ingredients such as grass-fed and finished tallow, shea butter, bentonite clay, and non-nano zinc oxide. Although it is a thick mixture, which took me a little while to get used to, I am so pleased that I have found a high-quality but natural solution for diaper rashes. You can grab 10% off your order with my link. I wrote a blog post and did a video last summer to outline our curriculum choices for the 2024-2025 school year. I was so excited to start homeschooling again, and I did a lot of research and spent a lot of time organizing and preparing everything. Plus, there was a good chunk of change that went into our curriculum picks. 6 weeks into our school year, I realized that our math curriculum, which was Dimensions Math, was far too advanced for my oldest son. Truth be told, I sometimes didn't even understand what the curriculum was trying to teach, and it was a first grade math program. Not only that, but he was getting excessively frustrated. After doing some consulting with our curriculum Facebook group, I changed him over to Math with Confidence and lowered him a grade level. I felt like it was a big decision. Little did I know it was just the tip of the iceberg. By the way, I'm not dismissing Dimensions or any of the programs that I mention as a great curriculum, but it was just not for us. As the weeks went on, no one was thriving. From the toddler to the first grader, everyone was frustrating and started to dread our homeschool routine. A large issue is that I needed to teach each child by grade level, and it was creating a spiral effect of chaos. By November, I was kind of desperate. They were daily fights, screaming actually, pencil breaking, and the situation that finally broke me was when my son started hitting himself in frustration. The curriculum was not connecting, and it was not working. That was the day I knew we were done with everything. What we were doing was not the answer. We stopped school, and although I was sad and frustrated, I do not and will not regret that decision. Through a long process of consulting other homeschool moms, praying, and talking with my husband, I started researching a curriculum that might fit our sons better. We changed everything this year. Literally everything. Actually, our homeschool was on the edge of imploding. Yes, that sounds dramatic, but I do believe that if we had continued with our trajectory, my sons would have completely lost all love of learning, which is the cornerstone of what I desire for our homeschool. Our goal is to create lifelong learners who have a joy of learning and a heart for Jesus. And it was not happening. Now, I kind of want to address an elephant in the room. It's no secret that we were using My Father's World curriculum. I want to be honest about that. I still love My Father's World, and I've promoted it enough that I'm still getting people purchasing their curriculum through my links. Thank you for that. It incorporated all the subject and was heavy on literature and the Bible, which I truly did enjoy. One thing that I instantly connected with as a formal educator when I first received My Father's World curriculum 2 years ago was that they used the slogan, "Teach the child, not the curriculum," on a lot of their promotional materials. I love My Father's World approach. It resonates with me deeply. I like to think of it as a cross between a classical education approach and a Charlotte Mason's approach. However, what I've learned is that this approach does not work for my boys. It's how I think. It's how I teach. It's how I learn. But my sons are different. It's a sharp but important learning curve for a homeschool mom. The short of the long explanation is that my sons are kinesthetic and active learners. They love storytelling and they thrive when I put them in the driver's seat of their education in big ways. The approach that we were using was not working, and I had tweaked it a lot. I haven't quite mentioned that as much as I probably should. I tweaked our curriculum a lot to meet their needs. It's not that any of the resources or curriculum that we were using was bad. They were just not working for our boys, and I was unable to tweak the format anymore to meet their needs. As I started looking for a curriculum, I stumbled upon the idea of unit studies, and I was intrigued. The idea of my children choosing a subject matter that they were interested in, and then diving into that subject matter while covering all subjects, literature, history, geography, reading, science, etc., was very intriguing to me. Plus, the added and very important benefit that my children could all be included in the teaching time was the fundamental piece that we had been missing. So what are unit studies? Unit studies is an educational approach where multiple subject areas are integrated and taught together around a central theme or topic. Instead of separating subjects like language arts, social studies, science into different lessons, a unit study combines them into one cohesive learning experience. This method allows children of different ages and grade levels to study the same topic at their own depth and ability. For example, if you're working through a reptile unit, which happened to be our first Gather Round unit, the children might learn about the autonomy of reptiles in science, the habits of various reptiles in geography around the world, and famous myths or stories featuring reptiles in literature. This approach not only saves time, but also helps children see how various subjects connect in real life. Unit studies also tend to encourage project-based learning, and Gather Round incorporates one into each unit studied, which is modified based on age. We finished our first unit study on reptiles, and my oldest learner completed his first ever report on Gila monsters. We were able to connect all this in a very hands-on way by visiting Snake Discovery and seeing real Gila monsters, which was quite a fun experience.
These guys have the nickname of Pajama Gecko. You can't go in my shirt.
Mom, I'm pretty sure we learned about this snake. Mom, we learned about this snake, right? Guys, that's me!
Look at him. Hello. That yellow one is kind of cool.
Mommy, what is this? Is it on here?
Eight here. Those things need to mark here.
Yeah?
The snake skin is a crocodile skull.
I have been in the realm of education for over 10 years. That was my formal education with the license and the state testing and the whole shebang. And I have been homeschooling for about 3 years. Over my experience, I've explored a wide variety of curriculum and even had the pleasure of developing my own. So I know it can be really easy to jump on the bandwagon of something new, thinking it will solve all your educational issues. To be completely honest, there were a lot of educational issues this year. When I heard of Gather Round Homeschool, I of course went to see how old it was. It came out in 2019, so it's a relatively new homeschool curriculum. I personally feel, based on reviews that I've read and social media posts that I've seen, and even videos that I've seen, that they still have a lot of growing pains to do because they're a new company, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but is the one critique that I will say that you need to keep in mind as you dive into this curriculum. Another thing that I really like about Gather Round is that it is a faith-based program, and each lesson concludes with a family devotional. Each unit covers different topics like social studies, earth science, world history, and language arts, all centered around one main theme. Like I said, we started with reptiles, which is something that my kids chose. So I laid out all the curriculum and showed them their options. So I did give them some parameters, and then they chose what they thought they were most interested in. I did the same thing for our second set of curriculum, which now is forest animals. And as I've been planning the next school year, I did the exact same thing. And they have picked various topics like learning about Vikings and U.S. history and oceans and dinosaurs. And we're going to do all of that next year, and I really am excited for it. The only subject not covered in Gather Round is math. The curriculum is available in both print editions and digital downloads, which makes it accessible for busy moms like me who prefer organized resources that can fit into real life. The idea is that the teacher's guide provides everything you need to lead the lessons, while student notebooks break the material down by grade level. Whether you're teaching young learners or high schoolers, each unit is designed to meet different subjects at different learning levels. The core of each unit will come with a teacher guide and student books broken down into the following age groups: pre-reader, early elementary, upper elementary, middle school bundle, and a high school bundle. There are additional resources available as well depending on the unit. We started using the student seat workbooks for my oldest, but did decide to delay those until next year as I felt like they were slightly too advanced. We will use them next year specifically for spelling and grammar. We switched to Gather Round Homeschool because I needed a curriculum that could work for multiple children across various ages and subjects. We switched to Gather Round Homeschool because as a working mom, I need a curriculum that did not require hours of prep work. We switched to Gather Round because it allowed my kids to pick topics that intrigued them, therefore putting them in the driver's seat of their education. We switched to Gather Round because my younger kids can come alongside my older kids and learn together in a family-centric learning style. We switched to Gather Round because there was an emphasis on faith formation woven through each lesson and unit study. We finished our reptile unit study in February, and it was the most peaceful and cohesive 2 months of education that we've ever had. Currently, like I said, we are working through the North American Forest Animals unit. My first grader is using the early elementary notebook, while my 5-year-old and 2-year-old are using the pre-reader notebook. I appreciate how the teacher guide breaks everything down into complete sentences, making it easy to follow on days when we have very little time. The recommended book list helps round out each lesson with primary sources, materials, and beautiful literature. I also recommend using the Gather Round Homeschool app, which includes things like unit certificates, book lists, video lists, and other resources for each unit. One of the most common questions in curriculum reviews is whether Gather Round is enough as a core curriculum. I hate this question. Is anything enough? No. There will always be gaps in education that we cannot anticipate. I think the better question is whether the Gather Round Homeschool curriculum is a well-balanced and rich program. And the answer to that is yes, it is. Was our previous curriculum a well-balanced and rich program? Yes, but it ultimately didn't work for us. There will always be tweaks needed in a curriculum because remember, we teach the child, not the curriculum. So, of course, one of the questions is the price worth it? Gather Round isn't the cheapest homeschool curriculum out there, but I genuinely believe that the price is worth it for us. The digital format allows me to print exactly what I need, saving money on unnecessary materials, and also if you get the digital format, it provides you with all the student workbooks, not just the specific age that you're purchasing if you do the printed one. I just finished our curriculum choices for next year, and I will be adding a third year learner next year, and we are supplementing with some extra materials with a math and reading program. Regardless, I estimate that we're almost doubling our curriculum expenses, which was a major consideration. Yes, I believe for the cohesiveness and peace we've experienced with the switch, I believe that the price is worth it. We've added a couple of educational resources to help round out our year, and they were chosen intentionally to support the unique learning styles of my learners, so of course they're not going to work for everyone. We're using reading.com, which is one of the best reading programs we've used, and it has helped jump our first grader up to almost where he should be, which is great. And my almost kindergartner also loves it. We're using IXL Math, and of course, I mentioned already, Math with Confidence. So the conclusion is that I do love the Gather Round Homeschool curriculum, if you can't tell. I firmly believe that we teach the child, not the curriculum. So will this work for everyone? No, of course not, because every family and every learner is different. But for us, Gather Round Homeschool has completely transformed our homeschooling adventure. It's a great way to teach different subjects to different grade levels without feeling scattered or overwhelmed. The curriculum encourages our entire family to learn together, which has been an important change for us. Is it the end-all to our homeschool curriculum? Of course not. No doubt, as our boys age and we change, we'll modify and adapt. However, like I keep saying, we teach the child, not the curriculum. And the Gather Round Homeschool curriculum has allowed me to teach our children in a way that resonates with them. If you're looking for a curriculum that blends faith, family, and education in a beautiful and organized way, I can't recommend Gather Round enough.